Hi all. Are you all doing well? I am Ms. Shyama, your science teacher. This year onwards, we will be having two subjects instead of EVS. They are science and social studies. So let's start. Have you ever met an alien from another planet? Let's meet one today. Well, his name is Santi. Santi has come to our planet Earth for the first time. He came. He saw that our Earth is very different. He saw different kinds of plants, animals, places and human beings. He was all excited to see so many new things. So Santi went to different places like the mountains where he saw snow and the various plants and animals. From there, he went to the desert where it was full of sand and there was very few vegetation on it. Also, Santi went near water bodies. There also he saw unique plants and animals. Along with different places, the plants, the animals, even the human beings were completely different. This raised a question in Santi's mind. So Santi thought of studying about different flora and fauna and also about human beings from different regions. But he found it difficult in collecting animals from all regions. So he thought of changing his study towards plants from each region. Now, why do you think there are so many different plants, animals and human beings in different places on Earth? It is because they all have some adaptations to adjust with each region. Our Earth has different landforms such as plains, hills, mountains, deserts, coastal regions, swampy places, etc. Each place experiences different climatic situations. For example, snow falls on mountains. It is very hot in the desert, is it? The soil also differs from place to place. It can be salty or clayey or loamy or sandy. Different types of soils can hold different amounts of water and also nutrients. Plants of each region are different from other regions. Do they raise questions in your mind? Why do some plants grow so well in particular region, but why can't they grow at all in a different region? One more question. Lotus grows in water, but why does not grow in land? One more question I want to ask. Why does cactus grow only in the desert? Let's find out answers to these questions and learn more about plants. To survive and live in these situations successfully, living things such as plants, animals and even human beings develop special features called as adaptation. Adaptation. It is a physical change in the body or behavior of an organism that helps it to survive. All living things adapt themselves to their surroundings to survive. The place where they dwell or live or their natural home, it is called as its habitat. Now let's discuss about adaptation in plants. Based on their home or based on their habitat, plants can be broadly categorized into two. What are they? Terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. Terrestrial plants, plants that grow inland. They are called as terrestrial plants. Aquatic plants, plants that grow in water. Let's discuss about adaptation in terrestrial plants. Plants are found in different types of terrestrial habitats such as desert, mountains or hills, plains, marshes or swampy land, coastal lands, forest and also in grasslands. Let's discuss adaptation in desert plants. The desert areas are covered with sand and receive very little rain. Hence, plants like cactus prickly pear, date palm, which need very little water to survive and grow here. These desert plants are called as xerophytes. What they are called? Xerophytes. These plants have root that grow deep and spread widely. This also absorbs most of the available water from the underground. The plants either do not have any leaves or their leaves reduced to spines. You can see, if you are closely observing this cactus plant, you can see here the spines. This prevents loss of water through leaves called transpiration. So what is transpiration? Transpiration is a process by which water is lost through the stomata of leaves. The stem of the plants are fleshy and green. The green stem makes food for the plants and stores water. Most cactus plants flower at night. If they were to bloom during the day, the flowers would not survive in the heat of the desert. So that's why they are blooming during the night time. The cactus plants absorb plenty of water when it rains and stores it in its stem. The plant survives on this water for the rest of the year. Now let's discuss about the plant's adaptation in mountain ranges. Plants like pine, fir and cedar grow in mountains or hilly areas. These trees are also called as coniferous trees. They do not shed their leaves, so they have one more name, also called as evergreen trees. These trees are cone in shape. This allows snow to slide easily from the leaves. And also one more feature the plants have. The plants have needle-like leaves which are covered with waxy coating, and also it prevents damage to the leaves from snow. The leaves hang downwards to reduce water loss by transpiration. These plants have hard cones instead of flowers. So later, these cones enclose the seeds and protect from snow. These plants grow deep into the soil, so they can actually withstand strong wind. Next, moving forward to the next topic, adaptation in the plants of deciduous forest, otherwise plain lands. The trees like oak, gulmohar, maple, elm, mango grows in the plain. You can see here, this is a branch of gulmohar. Plains mostly have moderate climate. It is neither too hot nor too cold. Plains receive enough rainfall. These trees can bear the heat of summer. During winter, they shed their leaves, hence they are called as deciduous trees. The leaves are broad and are able to capture lots of sunlight. In the spring season, new leaves grow on these trees. Let's move to the next topic, adaptations of mangroves. Plants that grow in marshy or swampy areas are called as mangroves, where the soil is clayey and is covered with salty water. Also, the soil in swampy areas is filled with water, so the roots of mangroves do not get air to breathe. So, they have developed breathing roots which grow above the soil. The mangrove trees have stilt roots that provide extra support to the trees. They are also adapted to bear the constant water movement without causing any damage to their body parts. These features help the mangrove trees to grow well at the edge of the ocean. Now, let's discuss about adaptation in plants of the coastal region. Plants growing in warm coastal regions have to adapt to bright sunlight, strong winds, sandy soil, high humidity in the air, and also heavy rainfall. Plants like coconut palm have strong flexible stems which tolerate strong winds. They have long roots, grow deeply into the sandy soil and firmly anchor the plant. The leaves are thick and are formed of long strips to bear the force of strong winds. They also have a shiny surface to reflect strong sunlight. The coconut palm fruit has the fibrous coat which helps them to float in the water and get dispersed. Other plants that grow in coastal regions are rubber, pepper, etc. Now let's discuss about grassland plants and its adaptation. There are large areas of land covered with grasses and wildflowers, and also it supports a varieties of species of plants. The summers are hot and the winters are cold. Grasslands also receive very less rainfall. Tall trees and large shrubs are rarely found in grasslands, but small trees are scattered through the grasslands. There are many species of grasses like foxtail, ryegrass, wild oats, etc. Here you can see in my hand, it is also a kind of wild grass. The plants are adapted to develop deep roots in order to absorb water from deep ground. This makes the soil rich in nutrients and suitable for farming. Roots also strongly bind the soil together. Let's discuss about next topic, adaptation in plants of rainforest. Forests are the region where we can find wide varieties of plants, trees, shrubs, climbers, creepers, etc. They experience heavy rainfall, and also it is a habitat for plants and other animals. The leaves of the plants have a waxy coating with pointed tips which allows to drain water away from it. The soil in the forest is shallow and the plants develop special roots which help them to stand firmly in the ground. The growth of trees in a rainforest is so dense that very little sunlight reaches this forest floor. Orchid, mahogany, teak, sandalwood trees are few examples of the plant seen in the forest. Now let's discuss about aquatic plants, otherwise called as hydrophytes. After discussing terrestrial plants, we are moving forward to aquatic plants. Plants that grow in water bodies are called hydrophytes or aquatic plants. There are three types of aquatic plants. First one is floating plants. Second one, fixed plants. Third one is underwater plants. First we are going to discuss about floating plants. Water hyacinth, duckweed are the examples of free floating plants. These plants are not fixed to the soil. They float freely on the water. Stems and leaves of these plants are very light and also spongy and filled with air. Hence, it helps the stem to float freely. Their floating leaves have chlorophyll only on the top of the surface. Now let's discuss about fixed plants. The water lily and lotus are the examples for fixed plants. These plants have their roots fixed in the soil on the bottom of a pond. They have thin, long and also flexible stems to reach the surface of water and also to withstand the water current. You can see here their leaves are broad and flat, which helps them to float on the water. The leaves also covered with a waxy coating which prevents the leaves from rotting. The leaves have small pores called stomata only on their upper surface. so the water does not block the pores. And the flowers are very large and bright, which helps them to float and also attract pollinators such as honeybees, butterflies, birds, etc. Now let's discuss about underwater plants. Plants grow completely under the water and not visible above the surface of water is called as underwater plants. The tape grass and also pond weed are examples of underwater plants. The roots are fixed to the soil at the bottom of the water, and they have thin narrow leaves to withstand water current, and the leaves do not have any stomata or that small tiny opening. These plants breathe through their body surface, and also they absorb carbon dioxide and oxygen from the water. Let's do a recapitulation of this lesson. As we discussed about plants' adaptation in different regions. Plants are categorized based on their natural home, otherwise called as habitat, into terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. Later we started with desert plants and its adaptation. The stem of a cactus plant stores water and also makes food. Leaves are reduced into spines to prevent water loss, and the roots run deep into the underground in search of water. Later what we discussed? We discussed about mountain plants and its adaptation. These mountain plants also called as coniferous trees. Why it is called as a coniferous trees? Because they bear cones instead of flower. What are the examples of coniferous trees? Fir, pine, etc. The coniferous trees are tall and straight, and also they have needle-like leaves. They do not shed their leaves at the same time, so they also have one more name. What is it? Evergreen trees. They won't shed their leaves at the same time, so they always look green. So it is called as evergreen trees. Later we discussed plants in plains and also its adaptation. These plants called as deciduous trees because most of the trees shed all their leaves at the same time once in a year. Give some example for deciduous trees. What are they? Peepal tree, neem, gulmohar, banyan, etc. After that, we discussed about coastal region plants. Example, the coconut palms. This coconut palms features are leaves are thick and like long strips, and also with strong flexible stem to withstand strong winds. Next, what did we discuss? Plants and its adaptation in marshy areas. Plants called mangroves have stilt roots, and roots grow out of the soil to get air. So it is also called as breathing roots. Next, discussed about plants and its adaptation in forest. They get very good amount of rainfall, and plants are adapted to this condition. They have smooth stem which allow water to quickly flow downwards. The leaves have a waxy coating and also drip tips. Later we discussed about the growth of plants in grasslands and also its adaptation. So these plants in grasslands, it develop deep roots and also absorb water from underground. What are the examples for grassland plants? Foxtail, ryegrass, wild oats, etc. After terrestrial plants, we discussed about aquatic plants and its examples. Aquatic plants, plants that grow in water, also called as hydrophytes, And aquatic plants have three types. What are they? Floating plants, fixed plants and underwater plants. Floating plants, the plants which will be floating on the water. Fixed plants, the roots are fixed onto the ground of pond. Underwater plants, the plants which we can see above the water level. It will be under the water. So these are the three types of plants. So dear children, today we finished our lesson. So I am asking you to do something. You need to read out the lesson and underline all the difficult words and mark the definitions also. And try to finish your textbook exercises as well. Take care children. Bye.